You've been sensing it, haven't you? A shift in the air, a gentle tug in your chest, as if the universe is softly telling you that something sacred is coming your way. And you're right. The angels confirm it. A very special person is being guided, by a force greater than themselves, to step forward and transform everything you thought you knew about love. Not just with words, but with a gesture so profound, so unexpected, that it will leave a lasting mark on your soul, like the moment night gives way to dawn. This isn't about a casual encounter or a fleeting romance. This is divine orchestration. This person, this soul who once doubted, who once hesitated, is now on the verge of revelation. And the reason? You. Your presence. Your grace. The way you radiate truth in a world longing for authenticity. The angels say, you were not sent into this life to chase. You were placed like a lighthouse, so they could find their way. You didn't try to prove anything. You didn't ask to be chosen. And still, your energy disrupted everything this person thought they understood about safety, solitude, and control. They were not looking for love, but they found a sanctuary in you. Now, the heavens are stirring something deeper within them. A knowing. A readiness. And soon they will do something they have never done before. They will kneel not out of tradition, but because their soul finally recognizes its home in you. You may ask, why now? Because they've reached the end of running. The end of pretending. The end of believing love is meant to hurt, to lack, to leave. God has allowed time to teach, to purify, to prepare. And now, this person is ready to return. Not with excuses, but with a vow. A vow that will change your name, your rhythm, your story. The angels are preparing the ground. Your life is about to become holy ground. For it is written, delight yourself also in the Lord, and he shall give you the desires of your heart. Psalm 37 verse 4. There is a silence surrounding this person, but it's not empty. It's heavy, wounded, like a room that still echoes with old cries. The angels show me that before they could love you, they had to confront everything inside them that whispered, you're not worthy of this kind of love. They didn't choose these fears. They inherited them. From disappointments that were never healed. From love stories that left splinters in their spirit. From moments when giving their heart meant losing pieces of themselves. So when you appeared, not with promises, but with your presence, it scared them. Your light felt too honest. Too close. It illuminated every shadow they tried to keep hidden. And that's why they pulled away, why they hesitated. The angels say, they never meant to hurt you. They were just trying to protect a part of themselves that never learned what safe love feels like. You've likely asked, why does this feel so real, and yet so hard? Because love didn't knock gently this time. It cracked something open. It invited truth. And truth doesn't always arrive neatly. This person is learning slowly and painfully that pushing you away doesn't silence the connection. It only deepens the ache. They retreat not because they stopped feeling, but because they started feeling too much. The angels reveal they are in an inner war. Between past and present. Between who they had to be to survive, and who they're becoming now that your presence demands something softer, braver, and more true. They are afraid. But they are listening. And in the silence, they are beginning to understand, this love isn't a threat. It's a return. To something they forgot existed. To something their soul has longed for. Even before they knew your name. You've been carrying so much. Holding space not just for someone else's healing, but for your own quiet ache. The angels see it. They see how you've been pouring from a sacred cup, sometimes forgetting to drink from it yourself. They whisper to you now, "Daughter of light, your tenderness is divine, but it was never meant to cost you your peace." This connection, it's real. But so is your exhaustion. So is your longing to be seen, held, honored, not just loved in the shadows, but chosen in the light. It's time to remember, you are not a resting place for someone else's confusion. You are a temple, a flame, a sanctuary of truth, softness, and strength. And nothing divine ever asks you to dim yourself for someone still learning how to see. The angels say this softly, but firmly, don't forget yourself while waiting to be remembered. This person is on their journey. Their walls are trembling. Their heart is learning its first language again. But your heart, it deserves care too. Your spirit, it needs time, quiet joy. Don't pause your joy for someone else's process. Let the wind kiss your skin. Let your laughter be louder than your waiting. Let your own presence feel like home again. Because when they come, and they will, you must not be empty. You must be full of yourself. Full of your softness. Full of your fire. Full of your beauty that doesn't plead. Only then will they see, the kind of love you offer is not something they can visit. It's something they must rise to meet. And they will. But first, you must rise for you. The angels are lighting a candle now in your soul. Let it burn. This love is not about losing yourself. It's about remembering who you've always been. They never expected to meet someone like you. Not because you were loud, but because you were still. Because in your stillness, they saw everything they'd been avoiding. The angels say, your light didn't flatter their ego. It exposed their soul. You weren't a mirror of praise, you were a mirror of truth. And that truth was too much for a heart still armored by old scars. In you, they saw their own longing, their fragility, their capacity to love more deeply than they thought possible. And it frightened them, not because it was wrong, but because it was unfamiliar. You became the reflection they couldn't look away from. Your patience, your kindness, your fierce silence, it all held up a mirror. One that didn't judge, but simply revealed. Revealed where they had hardened, where they had closed off, where they had mistaken control for peace. They tried to look away, to erase you. To pretend your presence wasn't a revolution wrapped in gentleness. But it was. And it still is. The angels show me now, every time they tried to run, they only ran into themselves. Because it was never really about you. It was about what you awakened. And awakenings are never tidy. They stir the dust. They unearth the pain. They invite the shadows to speak. You didn't break them. You revealed what was already broken. And that is why this love is different. You don't just stir their heart. You call their soul to rise. And it will, once it stops confusing reflection with rejection. The angels hold a mirror to you now and say, look. Look how powerful your presence is. Look how holy your love is. You are not here to fix them. You are here to be a reminder of who they can become. When they finally look into your light and see their own, there's a shift happening in them. It's quiet, but it's real. The angels show me a soft tremble in their heart, a place that once stayed locked is beginning to stir. And the key was you. Not your effort. Not your waiting. But your truth. The way you loved without demand. The way your presence didn't ask for performance, only honesty. They've felt it. The pull. The ache. the sudden silence in a room that used to feel full. Because now, nothing feels full without you. The angels say, they are waking up to what they almost lost. This awakening isn't dramatic. It's not a lightning strike. It's a whisper, a memory, a moment when they hear your name in a song or find you in a scent on someone else's skin. And suddenly, they can't run. They can't deny. You are woven into them now. There's a tenderness returning to their spirit. A curiosity. They are asking questions they never dared to ask before. What does it mean to truly be seen? To be chosen, not for what they show, but for who they are underneath? You've become the echo in their quiet moments. And in that echo, they are beginning to remember. Not just you, but themselves. Because your love didn't just call them closer to you, it called them back to who they were before the pain, before the masks. This is the beginning. The angels show me their heart like a dawn sky, still dim, but warming. And in that light, your name is the first thing that rises. Let it rise. Let it bloom. Let it lead them home. You feel it, don't you? The rhythm of them drawing near, then pulling away again. Like waves against a shore that longs to be touched but fears being changed. The angels lean close and whisper, this is not rejection. It is recognition, too vast to be held all at once. They're afraid. Not of you, but of what you bring. Because your presence doesn't just offer love, it demands truth. And truth has always made them tremble. Each time they come close, something softens. But something also unravels. Because love like yours doesn't leave what it touches untouched. This is why they return. This is why they retreat. You represent something holy, something real. And realness requires surrender. And surrender feels like death to a soul that only knew survival. So they oscillate. They come forward when they think they're ready. They disappear when they realize they're not. The angels want you to know, this is not a game. This is a healing. One that moves in spirals, not lines. And every return, though painful, is progress. Because each time they feel your energy, they lose a little more of their fear. Each time they walk away, they carry more of your light. It's exhausting, I know. This dance of almost there. This ache of not yet. But the angels assure us, this back and forth is not the story, it's the storm before the clarity. There is wisdom in this rhythm. Even the moon retreats before it reveals its full face. Even love needs space to become brave enough to stay. So don't take their distance as indifference. Take it as evidence that something inside them is changing, and they're learning how to return, not just to you, but to themselves. They never told you, but your love healed them. Quietly, invisibly, like rain at night, touching places they didn't know were thirsty. The angels say, your love was not loud, but it was sacred. It met them where no one else dared to look. In their doubts. In their fears. In the parts of them that were too tender to name. You didn't demand transformation. You just loved. And in that love, they found something rare, relief. The kind of relief that makes a soul exhale after years of holding its breath. They didn't know what was happening at first. They thought you were just kind. Just patient. Just warm. But the truth is, your love began to undo their pain from the inside out. And that terrified them. Because healing is not comfortable. It brings light to the wounds. It wakes what was numb. It invites the spirit to feel again, and feeling again, after so long, is almost unbearable. That's why they pulled away. That's why they came close, then froze. Not because you hurt them, but because you loved them so well, it made their old pain rise to the surface. And now, they are remembering, slowly, that it is safe to feel. That not every connection ends in collapse. That intimacy can exist without abandonment. They don't know how to say it. They might not ever say it in the way you deserve. But the angels assure, they feel it. They carry it. And it is changing them. You didn't fix them. You simply showed up. And in doing so, you reminded them they were still worthy of being held. That is sacred. That is medicine. That is the kind of love heaven notices. There is a divine map unfolding beneath your feet, even if you can't yet see it. The angels have been guiding this connection from the beginning, through detours, delays, and silences that weren't empty, but sacred. You may wonder, why hasn't it happened yet? Why so much waiting? And the answer is this: because real love is never rushed. The angels say, when God writes a love story, he uses pauses as punctuation, not endings. This person, with all their confusion and hesitation, is still part of a heavenly plan. A plan that does not bend to urgency, but to readiness. And readiness doesn't happen in the mind, it happens in the soul. You are not waiting in vain. You are being positioned. Every unanswered prayer, every silent day, every unanswered message, it has all been used to shape something deeper in both of you. Not to punish, but to prepare. The heavens are aligning what your heart has always known, that there is something divine in the way you met, and even more divine in the way you are being called to meet again. The time of wandering is nearing its end. The person who once doubted is starting to listen to something higher. Not their fear, not their logic, but the quiet voice of the soul that says, go back. She is the beginning. And as they start to follow that voice, heaven is making space, opening paths, softening walls. God has not forgotten this promise. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. Jeremiah 29 verse 11. You are not off course. You are exactly where love is meant to find you again. They want to love you. They do. But something inside them is still trembling. Still afraid. Because loving you would mean letting down every guard they've built over years of pretending they didn't need anyone. The angels reveal, this person never learned how to be held without fear. They've mastered control. They've perfected distance. But you invite their soul to rest. And that kind of peace? It's foreign, frightening, intimate in a way they never expected. Every time you saw them, not the version they curated, but the one behind the mask, it shook them. Because they didn't think they were lovable in that rawness. And yet, you stayed. You smiled anyway. You listened when they didn't know what to say. This is the paradox they carry now, a desire to be closer than ever, and a terror that you'll see too much and walk away. But the angels assure, what scares them is not you. It's being loved without conditions. Without having to perform. Without having to earn it. You, in your softness, hold a mirror they've never known. One that says, you don't have to fight to be loved. They want to believe that. They are trying to. But their nervous system still flinches. Their heart still asks, will this be safe? They may not have told you this. But when they are silent, when they hesitate, it's not rejection, it's resistance born of fear. Fear of being seen. Fear of being real. Fear of loving in a way that could break them open. in the best and most terrifying way. The angels say, "Do not shrink to make them brave. Your light is the invitation." And when they are ready, they will come, not armored but bare. Not for perfection, but for the chance to finally feel. Without running. There comes a moment, quiet, sacred, where the soul no longer asks for promises. It simply trusts. And that moment, beloved, is here. You've done the waiting. You've held the ache. You've wondered if this love would ever rise from the silence. And still, your heart remained open. That is not weakness. That is faith in its highest form. The angels say, "Now, release the need to understand. What is meant for you is already finding you." This person may not arrive in the way you imagined. The path may not unfold clearly. But the truth is this: love does not follow our rules. It follows resonance. And your souls, yours and theirs, have been humming the same ancient song, even through the distance. Now is the time for surrender. Not giving up. Surrender. To the mystery. To the divine rhythm. To the understanding that your light has already done its part. They have seen you. Felt you. Changed because of you. And whether this love takes the shape of union or simply of sacred recognition, the gift remains. You reminded someone what it means to feel. The angels are not asking you to wait. They are asking you to trust. To walk in your light. To live. To love. To laugh, without the weight of outcomes. Because what is real will return. And what isn't, was never a loss. It was redirection. You are not waiting for love. You are walking in it. Every step you take now is sacred. And if it is meant to be, if their heart is ready, they will rise. And meet you where love does not rush, but remembers. Where love does not perform, but stays. Where love is not earned, but received. As it always should have been. As it always will be.